Beautiful, isn't it? It'll be presented tonight to whichever fashion house shows clothes that offer the best value for money and the greatest wearability. So the annual fashion awards, organised by Woman magazine, are here again. A nationwide contest, and a contest that's been divided into 5 categories. Tonight we're looking at the last 3 finalists in each, letting you judge for yourselves, and then at the end of the show, see how your personal choice stands up against the opinions of the professional judges, who are, by the way, as follows. We have Julie Harris, the film costume designer. We have Teddy Watson, the Savile Row tailor. We have, of course, Miss Barbara Buss, the editor of Woman magazine. Then we have Clive, London couturier and designer. And, of course, Miss Veronica Scott, fashion editor. But let's look first at the category described as Fashion Casuals of the Year. And as a great, if notorious, innovator of our own time, I want you to meet Mrs. Amelia Bloomer, the first woman's liberator. She took the pioneer step in feminine dress reform and gave her name to, that's it, bloomers. Now, you see, she wasn't far removed from the modern style of wearing a short smock dress over a pair of trousers. It could claim to be the first two-legged female fashion to divide and concur with male fashion. Funny, really, though, to think that trousers, once banned from top places, are now accepted, well, practically everywhere. Although, oddly enough, even the Duke of Wellington, once upon a time, was banned entry to a West End club. Why? Because he was wearing trousers. The management insisted on knee breeches. The first collection in the fashion casuals category is created by finalist Susan Barry, and the trousers here should retail at about $5.25, the safari-type jacket being $7.50. It's a mix and match collection. The cream and rust blouse here tones in perfectly. Brushed nylon costs about £4. The woman's cycling costume, circa 1895, is half culotte, half Mrs. Bloomer. Of course, the costume of today has fined down, as you see, to a modern equivalent of a minimal skirt and either shorts or culotte. And the mini culotte here are about £4.50, the shirt £4.50, and the Fair Isle tank top about £2.40. Of course, cycling is a sport and demands the maximum practicality of as little weight as possible, so gauchos are making a big bid for popularity this season. The gauchos will cost you about $3.25, the blouse £4, and the tabard itself $5.50. But do remember that culotte and gauchos depend very much on having long boots that disappear up into the garment to bridge the sort of gap. If short boots are worn and stockings too, then you produce a 3-tier effect without any real balance. See what I mean? Well, the second collection in the fashion casuals category is from the manufacturers called Big Scene. Each outfit in this collection comes in blue, yellow and red jersey, or you can combine brown, tan and rust. The price about $9.75, and we see here how much of new fashion is derived from the adaptation of old sportswear. The mini, for example, was worn for years as a skating skirt before hitting the everyday scene, and hot pants are nothing more than the kind of things worn on the prom or on the tennis court. Hot pants, as a matter of fact, they alter the focal point of fashion, and it seems to be climbing from the leg line to higher up. This could lead to a reiteration of a fashion which once attracted men's attention with the brash emphasis of the bustle. As Quint so aptly put it in A Midsummer Night's Dream, "Bless thee, bottom, thou art translated." A 2-piece suit with 2 colour epaulets and waist trimming, priced around $9.75. Remember how people used to criticise girls who didn't have perfect legs for wearing short skirts? Because in those days it was the bad legs we noticed at first. Now the short skirt's normal, we don't notice the bad legs, only the beautiful ones. In the same way as a man tends to notice only beautiful faces. See what I mean? Like so many other fashions, trousers came into the woman's wardrobe as casual gear, back in the 1930s as beach pyjamas, as a matter of fact, and they're returning now to those original dimensions. This suit comes at about $14.95, and see the turn-ups on these very wide slacks. They're starting to drift back into menswear as well, as a matter of fact. Now, for around $9.25, you can have this little outfit, worn here in juxtaposition with the reminiscent trend for high over-the-knee stockings. Trouble is, the stockings tend to wrinkle down with walking movements, and to avoid the problem in hot pants, women could begin to hold the stockings up with suspender belts, would you believe? Remember that look? It's only one example of how underwear steadily fights its way to the visual surface. Nightgowns are being worn as party dresses now, and men are wearing the T-shirt as an outer garment. The waistcoat has become an upper garment too. Even the shirt, you know, was underclothing once upon a time. And what about the bikini swimsuit? And the tank top? A designer once noticed that Royal Tank Regiment soldiers stripped off their shirts when the accommodation got too hot inside their vehicle and aired themselves in the top of the turrets in just their singlets. And that's the simple derivation of the tank top. Unless, of course, you get a more sophisticated version. As in this quilted top produced by the City Swingers, our third finalists in the casuals category. The outfit, as it is, will retail at £11 approximately, but a blouse can be added if desired. And the material of all these outfits is hand washable. This two-piece, costing about $14.40, the one on the right that is, matches a pleated skirt to a floral quilted battle top. And this time we get a quilted miniskirt with quilted patches on the sleeves and a brown battle top. You know, it's surprising that the miniskirt didn't come in sooner, really, despite the fact it was obstructed for years by all the fashion writers with bad legs and by that great biennial non-event, the Paris collections. It needed taste to change, of course, but when you get down to talking about taste, who really knows what's beautiful? And finally, not a battle top this time, but a bolero skirt costing about $9.30. Of course, these stretch properties of jersey grow more and more important as we experiment with clothes which will give as much comfort as human skin. Not generally known is the fact that your skin stretches as much as 40% in some movements, and that's why there's nothing quite so comfortable as stark nakedness. And it's something the designer just has to bear in mind. And to refresh your memory, here are the three finalists in the casual wear category. Susan Barry, Big Scene, and City Swingers.